evening, everybody.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully you're having a great day. Good evening to all you amazing Kickstarters out there. It is Tuesday night and it is a Tuesday night chat. We're so happy for you guys to be here. Welcome back to another week of inspiration, reflection, and just action, right? Because action, it takes action. You can do all the thinking you want, but if you actually don't do anything about it, yeah. So I'm Jean-Luc.
And I'm Nick. We're already at day 16 of Kickstart, and the momentum is still going strong. You're showing up, you're tracking, you're doing the work, and we're so proud of you. We've had a little blip in our little 2 weeks of Kickstart. We have not been as able to commit to our commitments as much as we have in the spring and in January,
the winter,
but it's okay because hot off the press,
we have a different mentality about it this time.
I was going to segue to something else.
Well, I know, but we have a different mentality about it this time. We've talked about it several times. It's not about being perfect, but it's about consistently trying to do something and keeping it in the forefront of your mind. So even if you don't make your commitment that specific day or that week, you still have more weeks to still try doing it. And that's what we come to terms with.
And that's what we're going to segue to, because Kickstart has been extended all the way to the end of summer. So what that means is now your 6 weeks of Kickstart remain the same. You'll be tracking for 6 weeks, doing sessions, activities, everything we're doing now. On day 42, we will lock down your stats for the team. So the team stats will lock down on day 42. That's when we expect you guys to track till. On that date, we will then allow you to print your results. For 2 weeks, the stats will disappear. And then when Kickstart continues, you will get to start seeing your Kickstart daily stats. All summer, you'll have physical tasks, daily tasks. There'll be chats. There'll be programming throughout the entire summer that you guys can join us. There'll also be a new book we're going to create that we're going to have for you guys to track this summer. And going forward, Kickstart will always be a 6 week of commitments and then a subsequent time on Kickstand altogether. So that's the new announcement we released today.
And it is still Kickstart, Kickstand, but the tracking part is what we're encouraging you guys to keep doing while we aren't meeting as often as we normally do in the 6 weeks. So a little bit about our hiccup from this week. So a lot of you saw some posts about the kitties on Sunday night. Sunday night, Nick went into the bathroom and he pulled out some our melatonin and all of the things that we talked to you about that we take before we go to bed. He pulled out the 2 Motrins and he put them on the counter, and Maui knocked one into the sink. So Nick caught that, but then all of a sudden he turned around.
No, he knocked one in the sink. I pulled the back up. I put it back on the counter, and then I walked out of the room. By the time I came back, they were both gone. So I started freaking out. I couldn't find them in the washroom. So I'm like, okay. So I ran in the living room and I saw
we found one on the ground.
And then we couldn't find any other one. So we
destroyed the living room. Yeah. We took the chairs out. We pushed everything. And I'm like, there's not many places where it could go. So our first thought was, oh my God, they might have swallowed it.
So we straight away called poison control. We then went to the emergency vet clinic. We got there at around 11. They were amazing. They were so nice.
They were nice.
We were there until 3 a.m.
They were really busy.
Yeah, they were really busy.
Really busy. I never expected an emergency vet to be that busy. It was crazy.
So they took care of, they tried to make Maui and Peru vomit to see if they could throw up the pill. Maui did, but there was no pill. They found an olive.
They found an olive, which she wasn't worried about. She's like, but that's a weird thing. I think I had olives on my pizza that night or something like that.
So, and for Peru, they couldn't induce her to vomit. So they then gave us the options. They could keep them overnight, and we're like, no.
3 nights.
We're like, no, we don't want to leave them there. We can take care of them at home. We work from home, so So they gave us lots of meds. What happens is Motrin can destroy the kidneys, the stomach, the esophagus, and the liver of cats. So it's a very toxic medication for them to swallow. So that's why we didn't take a chance. We went in right away. But they're fine. We got the toxicology yesterday at around 4 p.m. The doctors called us and said that both of them were clear. There was nothing in their system. And we were able to stop giving them the meds we've been giving them, because we were giving them like antacids and different things to help their stomachs in case there was something wrong. So we stopped that and they're fine.
They are absolutely fine. We talked to the doctors yesterday, so they said just monitor, and if you see any drastic changes, bring them in. So we are quite happy about that, but it was a scare. Of course, you know,
I cried for hours.
we already have a little bit of PTSD with losing Keiko, so of course, right away it was like we are not delaying. Let's get them in right away. So we're glad that they're good. Thanks again for all the positive.
And no, it was not
love.
cheap. It was not cheap.
Let's just say they are now purebred cats.
Yeah, they got their money's worth in that.
And even more if they would have stayed overnight. We couldn't believe it. We were like, oh my God. Although if we would have had to, we would have done it. Not even a question. So let's get into tonight's topic because that's what we're all here for. So let's be honest, okay? Because, you know, sometimes it's not about what we have to do or what to do. It's about what's getting in our way from doing what we need to do. You know, where it's sometimes fear, maybe procrastination, you know, maybe it's comparing ourselves to others, or even just self-doubt in that inner roadblock of saying, oh my God, can I do this? And you know what? We can. We just gotta believe in ourselves.
That's right. Tonight's session is one we all need. It's not about surface level motivation. It's about getting honest and doing a little excavation of what's really going on under the surface.
So we are super excited to have join us tonight, Danielle Reedy. Danielle Reedy. And we are so excited to have her with us.
Sorry.
Hello. So nice to be back with you guys.
Thank you so much for being here. Not only is she an Olympian, she's an author, she's a speaker, she's a coach, she has a podcast, and her story is actually one of the most incredible transformation stories that you will ever hear. Like, out of the blue, out of nowhere, it's absolutely amazing. I love it.
So Danielle went from a concussed university dropout in Vancouver in 2013 to representing Australia in the 2016 Rio Olympics as a synchronized swimmer, now called artistic swimming. I had no clue
I
they changed the name.
that.
She even made a history as Australia's first mixed duet competitor.
And so since then, she's written a book called The Unlikely Olympian, of course, which she is, and now runs a global coaching business helping people around the world to shift their mindset and finally go into getting bigger and brighter and actually achieving bigger and brighter goals.
Tonight, she's here to walk us through a process she calls EXCAVATE, where we'll learn how to identify and clear the 6 most common blockages that keep us from reaching our goals.
So what you're going to need, this is the list of things. You're going to need a quiet place, a notebook, a journal maybe, and a pen, and your open mind. Very important. Maybe your Kickstart journal is a great place to put all this info in.
So Danielle's going to walk us through a powerful exercise that just might shift something deep within you tonight. So whether you're felt stuck, overwhelmed, or just off, you are not alone. You don't want to miss this.
And so if you'd like a deeper, you know, after this session, if you want to connect with Danielle, you're always welcome to check out her website, www.daniellereedy.com/magnetic. Or you can also follow her on Instagram, the Danielle Reedy. I always want to say Ready. I don't know why.
It's because you're so ready for tonight to start.
I mean, it's not that hard. Danielle, thank you for being with us tonight, for sharing your wisdom and story with our Kickstart community.
And so here we are ready to excavate what's been holding us back. And let's take one big step forward together and take it away.
Amazing. So nice to be back with you guys. Was anyone here I spoke in January? Was there anybody that was also Jean-Luc and Nick were obviously here, but was there anyone else? Can you just put me or yes in the chat and let me know? Because I love coming into your guys' community. You just have the most beautiful community, the most beautiful people. So it's so lovely to connect. Okay, cool. So there's lots of you. Is anyone new? Can you put new in there if you are new and you haven't heard me speak before? Because we did a beautiful visualization session. Oh, hi, Karen. So nice to meet you. We did a beautiful visualization session back in January, and I was 39 weeks pregnant, and I gave birth 42 weeks pregnant, which was, oh my God, like just way overdue. And she's a beautiful, happy, healthy little girl, and she's 3 months old now, and she's downstairs with my husband. But I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight, because I just absolutely love this work and I love teaching this. So I'm just going to share my screen, so just bear with me for a moment. And while I'm doing that, I love to know, can you guys share with me where in the world everyone is? It's so fun for me to see where everyone is joining from. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, but I know we have a lot of people. Most people are East Coast. We have Toronto, Calgary. Oh, Melanie's Calgary, amazing. Detroit, Peterborough, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Whitby, Hamilton, Edmonton, West Palm Beach, Florida. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Texas, Oshawa, Ontario, amazing. Florida, so good. Okay. Beautiful. It's so cool to see you guys all over North America. So we're going to be diving in and I'm going to be sharing a little bit and guiding you through this process. Just like Jean-Luc and Nick said, if you have like a notepad and a pen, that'll be really supportive. And for this, because I'm going to be guiding you through a little process at the end. And if you want to connect further, would love to see you guys if you are on Instagram. If you listen to podcasts, I have a beautiful podcast called the Beautiful Souls Podcast. And you can check out my website. And I got a couple emails after the last one. And I also love hearing from you guys via email. So we are going to dive straight in and talk about the 6 common blockages from achieving your goals. So one of the biggest things that, is the challenge of achieving our goals is personal motivation, right? And I would love for you guys to share. Can you share with me what are some of your goals in being in this challenge? What are some of the things like you guys would know what you're working towards? Maybe it is like a fitness goal, or maybe it is a weight goal, or maybe it is like a health goal. What are some of the goals that you guys are working towards being in this program? Because it'll just really help me with the context of what we're speaking with today, if you guys don't mind sharing. And so you would have felt that, if you sometimes movement and mobility issues, weight loss, okay, yeah, sometimes we have these big grand goals, but have you ever struggled with the motivation to achieve them? Like, yes, I have been there, right? Health, loving yourself, right? It's like, you got to do the thing. Maybe you got to go out for a walk. Maybe you got to eat the healthy meal. Habits to create a longer life, smaller gene size, weight loss, health, weight loss, yes. But you're just like, you ever like procrastinate? Does anyone ever like push their like workout to like the very like at the end of the day? You're like, oh, well, I'll just do it tomorrow, right? So many of us struggle with that. We struggle with procrastination. We struggle with resistance. We struggle with like the frustration of, I know I want this thing, but why do I feel so frustrated that I can't achieve it? Or why do I keep procrastinating it, right? Queen of procrastination, Denise. I have been there, Denise. So this is going to help you break through your procrastination. So, you guys know that you've had goals and you procrastinate or resist it. So I'm going to be teaching you guys, this is actually a module in one of my programs called Magnetic, where I go into mindset and motivation really deeply and dive into that really deeply. But I'm sharing a little module today that's going to be super helpful for you guys to break through. So we're going to be excavating and really digging deeper into why you're struggling with some of these things. So the 6, does anyone like, maybe you could give me a little guess. What do you think some of the blockages are? The blockages from achieving your goals? Procrastination is definitely one of them. Does anyone else have any thoughts of like, what might be the blockages? Busyness? Yeah, that's definitely like part of it too. That can absolutely be there. It's like the time, or sometimes it's like making the time, right? Pain. Yeah. But what are some of the, like, any other thoughts? So the ones that I find with my clients, the big things that are really stopping people achieving it, yes, fear of failure, absolutely, is that they'll feel resistance. Like, oh, I just keep pushing the way. I just like, I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. With fear, like, and that's a huge umbrella, right? Desperation. Sometimes you want it so badly. You're like, why am I not there yet? That it's like, it can be really frustrating. Procrastination, of course. And frustration. You're like, oh, I'm so like pissed off that I'm not there yet, and so it's stopping me from kind of getting there. And also anxiety. Yeah, Devin, people can have a lot of anxiety about doing the thing to achieve their goal. And so on the outside, it can present as these things, right? This is like, if we think about the top of the tree and what the leaves are, these are the outward things that we can feel. And I felt like resistance has been big for me in the past. Like, I know I got to do something, or like, I know I got to go to the gym, but why am I sitting on the couch and not actually going? Or why am I not going outside for the walk? But deeper down, if we think about like the roots of a tree, it comes from a deeper place, which can come from a subconscious place inside of us of some fears, worries, inner child wounds, trauma, safety, triggers that can actually stop us. And so this can actually be where that thing on the top might present as resistance or procrastination. But deep down, the reason that you're actually resisting or procrastinating is because parts of you don't want to do the thing, because if you succeed, then you'll be seen. And maybe you don't want to feel seen because something happened when you were younger where you were seen, it felt unsafe, or you're seen and you were bullied, or you're seen and you were rejected from the tribe. And so we're going to be figuring out what some of these things are for you. So I like to say this, the thing is never the thing. Like we think, oh, I just keep procrastinating. I just need to, figure out how to not procrastinate. And that's what a lot of people do. And you just get in these loops. And of course you can set timers. You can have accountability. Accountability is like really, really helpful. And I think that's why it's so amazing that you guys are in this program and in this challenge, because being accountable, and sharing, I know you guys track your goals and you share it, like that is so helpful. And I was in a team sport and there were so many days I didn't feel like showing up, but because I was accountable to my team, I actually showed up. So accountability is an amazing hack for procrastination, but sometimes we need other things, right? Usually that thing is never really the thing. So we're going to be diving into this. And this is kind of a form of shadow work. Shadow work is looking at the parts of us that are unseen, unheard, and unloved. The parts of us that we push into the closet that we don't really want to look at, but when we bring that out in a safe way and in a safe environment, we can actually have huge transformation in our goals and in our ability to like achieve the things that we want to achieve. So the common core reasons, so we have these outward things, right? The resistance, frustration, anxiety, but it comes down a lot of the time to these fears. Some of you guys name them as well. We have these deeper fears: a fear of being unsafe, a fear of happiness. You can actually fear happiness. It is a thing. A fear of being disliked, right? Similar to a fear of being judged. A fear of pain, right? A fear of rejection. Rejection never feels good. A fear of being seen. And let me know if you've type in the chat if you guys have ever had any of these specific fears. A fear of being unloved. Like our deepest, greatest need is to be loved, right? And so if we feel like at some way by achieving our goal, we're going to be unloved, then it's going to stop ourselves from getting there. A fear of being unworthy, being seen, Karen, yeah. A fear of being judged, and a fear of, where's the last one? A fear of failure, being unsafe, yeah. And I know it might seem like crazy. It's like, well, why would me having this fear stop me from achieving my goal? But we're going to get into, why that happens. And so if we were to umbrella all of these things, if we were to kind of conglomerate them, they would go into 3 categories. And this comes from like the primal reality that we used to live in tribes. We used to live as cavemen amongst each other in a very different society that we live in now. And our basic needs were safety and love. And so a lot of these conglomerate into these 3 big things, which is desire to feel safe, the desire to be accepted by the tribe, and the desire to be loved. So deep down, we can have the fear of being unsafe, the fear of being rejected from the tribe, and the fear of being unloved. And so I see this a lot. Like I've seen this as like, maybe you have a weight loss goal and you know that you want to get to that weight loss goal, but you keep resisting, eating healthy. You keep resisting going to the gym. And you're like, why can't I just have the motivation to do it? Maybe there's a part of you that thinks that if you succeed, you will be rejected by the people in your reality because you'll be different. Because maybe your habits won't align with your partner or your family or those people, and they will feel intimidated by you being this new version of yourself. And so there's this fear of being rejected, which holds you in the state of where you are, which keeps you procrastinating so you don't achieve the thing. Is this making sense? And this is really powerful when we see this, because this is like a forms of sabotage, right? We can sabotage ourselves because we want to stay in these places. So I'll give you guys an example of in my own life. There's a time where I had this really big project in my work that I wanted to do. And I was like, I'm going to like work at this. I'm going to get there. I'm going to achieve it. I had this basically like website thing that I wanted to build. And I even joined a program like accountability. I paid a lot of money to join a program to have a coach who was going to help me with it. And she was going to fill in all the gaps of the skills that I didn't know. She was giving me the how, right? Giving me all the things. And I got a few months into this program and I was like, why have I still not finished this project that I know that I want to do? I keep procrastinating it so much. I have all the skills. I literally have the accountability. I have like all the things laid in place, and I have fun pockets of time, but I keep putting it off. Why am I not achieving it? I went through this whole process for myself, and I realized that I had this fear that if I succeeded at me doing this project, there was a feeling that I would be unsafe in being successful, which deep down, some parts of it come from going really deep. And a lot of this stuff can come from our own life. It can come from like what's happened in our family line. Realizing that my grandfather, who passed away much before I was born, was really successful at a certain level. And when at the height of his success, he had a heart attack and died at like 56. And then that led to all this chaos in my family, and everything like fell apart. And this happened before I was born, but there was this stuff stays with you, realizing that I had always heard that story. And so there was this part of me that saw that maybe if I reached success, it would be unsafe from a health perspective, from a life perspective, from keeping everything together. And so I had to realize, which I know this sounds crazy because I just needed to do this project. I had to realize that it is safe for me to be successful. And when I had that realization, I kid you not, guys, I was procrastinating for months. Within like 3 days, I finished it all. Like the motivation came out of nowhere. It was so powerful. And this can happen for you guys too when you break through these blockages to your goals. And this is why sometimes I'd like to talk about masculine mindset, feminine mindset. And this has nothing to do with if you're a man or a woman. The masculine side is regimented, it's hard, it is disciplined, it is amazing. The feminine side is softer, it's more understanding, it's more intuitive, has more depth to some degrees. So the masculine mindset way is the way that a lot of us try and overcome procrastination. Right? I'm just going to set timers. I'm just going to like lock myself in a room and get it done. I'm just going to like punish myself or reward myself to get it done. Right? I need to be more disciplined. That's what a lot of people think. I just need more discipline to get this done. And don't get me wrong, discipline is powerful and there's absolutely time and place for that. However, there's this other side, because if the discipline isn't working for you, there's something else there. And that is this feminine side of the mindset, which is what parts of me do not want to succeed. Let that sit with you guys. What parts of me do not want me to succeed? Because what would change in my life that would make other things uncomfortable, that if I succeed, that would feel uncomfortable? So many of us, we choose a familiar hell than an unfamiliar heaven. We keep ourselves in this sense of frustration and discomfort because even though it's as frustrating, it is known. And so we don't, even though we say that we want these things, we don't actually push ourselves there because it doesn't feel safe there. Let me know if this is landing with any of you guys, right? What parts of me do not want me to succeed? Because when we work through this, right, and when we see this in ourselves, your motivation will come to the roof. All of a sudden, things will start working for you because you don't have that deep-seated fear. So we're going to go through a reflection process to work through these blockages for yourself, okay? So I ask you guys to get out your pen and paper, and I want you to write down and identify an area in your life where you feel frustration, resistance, anxiety, procrastination, desperation, or frustration. Write down an area in your life where you're feeling that. Maybe it's like what you're working towards right now. And then if you feel comfortable, I would love if you feel comfortable to share in the chat. It could be an area in your life, an area in your goals. Making my new website and starting a new business, says Haley. Amazing. Carmen, do you mean your immobility? I'm guessing that's what you mean there. Yes, yeah. Being pulled in 100 directions by family. Okay, so Lynn, would you identify that that's like frustration? then, that you feel pulled in 100 directions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Any areas in your life where you're feeling this towards your goals? Balancing living in two places. So for that, it would maybe be frustration or anxiety for you. Difficulty focusing on myself. Yeah. So that could be procrastination for you, Mindy, that comes up, or frustration or resistance. People pleasing. Yeah. Resistance to getting back to fitness goals. Lack of confidence. Yeah. So maybe that's frustration, or it's a good side of it could be desperation. Thank you guys so much for sharing. I know that this is like really vulnerable, and to share. I feel like you guys have a really open, safe community here, which is so beautiful that Jean-Luc and Nick have built that. My goal is to be working to become global ambassador for Best Buddies. Amazing. So what would you, what of those things would you feel frustration and procrastination towards that? Like Lynn, frustration with family, fear of losing the weight, and frustration. Okay, amazing. Okay, so in some way, these blockages are serving you. I know that this is, if you hear this for the first time, it might sound crazy. In some way, this blockage is serving you. Holding on to the weight in some way is serving you. Lack of confidence, Denise, in some way is serving you. Being a people pleaser in some way is serving you. Being constantly feel like you're pulling 100 directions, Lynn, is some way serving you. Because you're not being pushed, sorry, one second, into something that makes you subconsciously unsafe. Maybe you're afraid to lose the weight, because if you do, then you don't know who you will be in your new identity, because you've never been somebody that's had a lower weight. Maybe if you're not pulled in 100 directions, Lynn, then you actually have to focus on yourself. And that feels scary. Maybe if you find balance in living in between these two places, you'll feel a sense of happiness, and that can feel scary. Maybe if you're not a people pleaser, Wendy, you might piss some people off, and that can feel scary. So in some way, this blockage is serving you. So I ask you to sit with this and write this down. What part of me wants to feel this? And when I ask you guys this question, this could be a part of you where there was for me, growing up, I was bullied a lot. And so being a people pleaser, and for me, holding on to weight when I was younger was keeping me safe. Sometimes we actually hold on to weight to keep ourselves physiological, like it makes us feel safe, because there's less space between us and like feeling harm. It can be the body's way psychologically of holding on to safety. I was bullied a lot when I was younger. And so there's a part of me that doesn't want to feel seen. There's a part of me that feels naked if I feel seen, because that feels unsafe, because somebody could pick on me, someone could bully me. Fear of failure in front of your family. And this is the question, Denise. If you have the failure, what are you making that mean about you? What does you failing in front of your family mean about you? And I'm not saying it does mean that about you. I'm just saying, what do you make it mean about you? Because there's a deeper thing there. It's like fear of failure, but it's also deeper, right? If you guys have any questions and you want me to help you excavate any of this, please put it in the chat so I can support you. I never made the connection between being bullied and the fear of being seen. That's a quality connection. Yes. Yeah. You know, and everyone has their own thing. We have all had different things that have happened in our life, that those little triggers and traumas and frustrations can be the things that we carry that stop us from achieving the things that we desire. You're ashamed that you regained so many times. So there could be part of you, Mindy, that's like, well, what is even the point of losing? I'm guessing you mean weight. I'm losing the weight because I might be there again, and that might mean that I'm a failure, and that might mean something that I'm making it mean about me. But what if this is the time that you don't? Because I also, like, in the sense of like, like consistently, like the yo-yo dieting and then the weight and stuff like that. Sometimes that like you could have all the skills in the world and you need those skills. You need to know how to move your body. You need to know how to eat well. But sometimes the thing that's making us regain it is actually the psychological part of us, right? That's trying to make us feel safe, the mindset part of us. I've had to, work through so much of this myself too. And it's been so helpful when I look deeper because it helps me realize that it isn't always the discipline. Because I personally am someone that can do the discipline. Like I have a 3-month-old baby and I gave myself a challenge last week to walk 100,000 steps and I did it. I was averaging 15,000 steps a day. Like, and I made it work because I have the discipline stuff, but I've also worked on, and I'm not saying I'm this like perfect person that's figured everything out, but I'm saying because I have the tools to understand myself at a deeper level, I don't find the resistance as much because I have the ability to look deeper. I'm really ticked off with myself that I've regained so many times. What is wrong with me? Is Karen, you got to love yourself. You got to love yourself in all aspects of you. You got to love yourself. If you have the weight, you have none of the weight. All of you has to love yourself because you need to stop beating yourself up that you've gained the weight so many times back. Because you're the only one beating yourself up about that. You get to love you. And this is what you get to know, Karen. It is safe for you to be healthy and happy. I know that can sound crazy, but a lot of people don't feel a sense of safety to feel healthy and happy because you know what we go, the shoe's going to drop. Something else is going to go wrong. So if I just stay unhappy, then I can't be brought back down to unhappiness. I'm just going to hold myself there. So one of the things I've actively worked on so much over the past 5, 6, 7 years is it is safe for me to be happy and healthy because there are so many times where I almost sabotage myself. So many times. We did this in relationship too. There's nothing wrong with you. What happened to you is a better question. So this is powerful. So I'm going to go into a little bit more specific with the blockages that you guys are specifically dealing with because I have questions for each of those things. This will make sense in 1 second. So whether you're dealing with anxiety, desperation, procrastination, resistance, or frustration, you can ask yourself these specific questions. Okay. And I know this looks like a lot, but I want you to choose one of them. So maybe procrastination is what you're dealing with, or resistance is what you're dealing with. And I want you to write down this question. And if you don't have the time to go into it now, let it be something that you think about, right? Anxiety. What parts of me like being anxious? What parts of me don't want to feel peace? What parts of me are scared of feeling peaceful? The beautiful question for resistance is if there wasn't resistance and everything flowed, then what would happen? I feel like living in two places creates fear of how society sees me. And my partner and I, as a couple, we can't live together because of government rules. So for you, that is a situation that you have to surrender to the fact that you're in. Right. And you're maybe afraid of being rejected or afraid of being judged, Nisha. But how can you surrender to the situation and make the best of where you are? And so yes, yeah, thank you for saying that, Carmen, because it can be intimidating to discover the deeper truth, but at the same time it's so liberating because you do not need to carry that. You do not need to carry it. You guys get to be happy. You get to be healthy. You get to achieve your goals. You deserve it and you are worthy of it. And I can say that until I'm blue in the face, but you have to know it and you have to feel it. You have to realize that inside of you. And then you're in places like this with Jean-Luc and Nick where you have because you need the how-tos, you need all of that. You need the accountability, you need the support, you need all of this stuff. But also when we understand this side of ourselves, it is so powerful. Does anyone have any questions about any of these questions or any of the blockages that they're seeing or acknowledging? And And I know this is a lot to go into in a short amount of time, right? So like if you need to write any of this down, if you need to screenshot it, to like come back to this, because this is these are big questions that you might not always get the answers to in 2 minutes, in 1 hour, but it's really powerful for you to sit with. And this is why I believe so much that the mindset work, along with the actual doing of the things, right? We can't just only mindset our way to our goals. We actually have to do the thing. You actually have to get out there and walk. You actually have to eat healthy. You actually have to move your body, all those things. My resistance is layer after layer of fear. And if that wasn't there, I would feel exposed, and that terrifies me. Thank you so much for sharing that, Haley. So powerful. I want you to know that sometimes just the identifying of this is the clearing of it. There's a part of me that would feel exposed, and that terrifies me, right? And then there's also parts of this where we have to do something a little bit deeper to actually uncover and support the healing of that. But there would be part of you that would feel exposed. A lot of the times there's this fear, like a lot of people's fears is like the fear of being naked or being exposed. I mean naked, I mean like, theoretically, metaphorically naked, exposed, like seen, because this, correct me if I'm wrong, Haley, maybe you could be exposed and part of you would be fully there. And what if you aren't accepted if you're fully there? What if you're rejected if you're fully there? And if the core of you is rejected, then what does that mean? Right? We go back to those primal things: fear of being rejected from the tribe, fear of being unloved, fear of being unsafe. But this is the thing, guys. Safety has to start in you. Safety in achieving your goals, safety in holding your goals, safety in holding that new reality that you're working towards has to start in you. Fear of being ostracized, pushed out, right? That's a huge thing. Have you guys ever heard of crab in the bucket syndrome? Has anyone heard of the crab in the bucket syndrome? Crab in the bucket syndrome is if you put a whole bunch of crabs in a bucket, one of the crabs will try and get out, and the other crabs will all pull that crab down. The crab will try and escape to freedom, and the other crabs will pull them down. Have you guys ever felt that with your goals? If you're not in the right bucket, if you're not in the right environment, maybe with your family, your friends, you're getting healthier, you're getting better, you're achieving the things that you want to achieve in your goal life, and then people try and pull you down because misery loves company, right? And you improving your life can scare the shit out of other people because you are a reflection of what they know deep down that they need to do, but they don't want to do. So if they pull you back to where they are, then that will make them feel safe. I had a former friend like that. She was very nasty when I lost weight and constantly picked on me. It's crazy that people do that, right? And that was only a reflection of how she felt about herself. Because we are beacons and mirrors for how other people feel about themselves, right? Yeah, people don't always want to grow. Yeah, right? And the hard thing about growth that we don't talk about is that growth also is grief. Because if we're growing, we're also leaving a part of ourselves behind. If we're growing, there's also a part of ourselves that has to die, metaphorically, in that process, right? And there's people that love the old version of us. There's people that want to keep that old version of us with them. They don't want us to grow. They want us to stay the same. Because then if you grow, what does that mean about them? Right? And not even that you're saying that about them, but that's how they feel about themselves. My family heard me say so many times, I don't really think I'll make it losing weight. Like, does your family support you? Does your family want you to stay there? Does your family, is your family that crab in the bucket? It's really hard when it's our family because, it's a different thing with our friends. We can move on from friends, but it can be harder when it's with our family. And that's why I think having, like I said, and I'll say a million times, having communities like the one that you're in are so important because we do need people that lift us up. Because this community, they're the crab that grabs your hand and pulls you out of the bucket. They're not the crab that pulls you back down into the bucket, right? Yeah, they're the one that's pushing you up. And that's what you need. So if it's okay with you guys, I would like to guide you just through a really short little process. For those of you that were at the last call that was back in January, I'm going to be using a little touch of that and guiding you through, like, it might be 10 minutes maximum. So what I ask you to do, and if you feel like you want to keep your eyes open, that's totally fine. Sometimes people listen to this driving. If you are, please don't close your eyes. But if you have the ability to put things down, and if you have the ability to put your pen down, put your extra screen down, and just give me 5 minutes of your time, I would really appreciate it, because this is going to be super supportive. I'm just going to turn on some music. Can you let me know? Music for me is like a game changer, and it helps me so much. Okay, sorry, I'm just, technical difficulties. Can someone let me know if they can hear this? Okay. So I ask you guys to, if it feels good to you, close your eyes. If it doesn't feel good or safe to you, that's totally okay. If you can, do your best to have your body symmetrical. So if you have a leg crossed over, uncross it. Do your best to have, if you can, both feet on the ground, and put your hands in your lap if you can. And I just ask for you to let yourself take a sigh. Whatever has happened today, whatever has gone on so far, whatever you have to do after this, tomorrow, I just want you to let it fade away. And I ask you to take a slow breath in and a deep sigh out. And if you can, I ask you to focus on the cool air that's either coming in and out through your mouth or your nose. If you can feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest. The gentle rise and fall of your belly. And bring to your mind or your heart something that makes your heart smile. Maybe it's an animal. Maybe it's a place in the world. Maybe it's your favorite spot on the beach. Maybe it's the person that you love most. But something that when you think of makes your heart smile. And bring to mind what your goal is in this program, in this space, and what it looks like if you were living it as if it was achieved. If you were watching yourself in your goal achieved, what would you look like? What would it feel like in your body, through your eyes, if you were living that goal achieved? What would you hear in your world if you were living as if that goal was achieved? What would you smell and what would you taste if that goal was achieved in your life? If that was your reality? Stay there. And I ask you to put your hand on your chest. Just below your collarbone. And I ask you to just gently tap below your collarbone. And you can say aloud or in your mind, It is safe for me to be here. It is safe for me to be here. It is safe for me to be successful. It is safe for me to be loved. It is safe for me to live in my goals. It is safe for me to stay there consistently. It is safe for me to hold that reality for years to come. It is safe for me to be successful. It is safe for me to feel loved. And I ask you to just take a slow breath in and breathe out. Hold your hand on your chest or over your heart. I am worthy of achieving my goals. It is safe for me to achieve my goals. It is possible for me to achieve my goals. I ask you to take one long, last deep breath in and an audible sigh out. Maybe shake your shoulders. When you're ready, you can open up your eyes. So sometimes in my own life, when I get to places where maybe I'm starting to get close to my goals or starting to feel like life is good, I do this process where I literally tap my chest and like, it's safe for me to be here. It is safe for me to hold this. I'm worthy of this, right? Because there's so many parts of us that it's going to resist it, procrastinate, be frustrated by it, have anxiety about it, push it away. And you get to know that it is safe for you to be in your goals achieved. You're so welcome, Haley and Stacy and all of you. It's a very simple process. So tapping your chest can really, and saying it aloud can really help ground that into your subconscious. And it's a beautiful way to like support that safety in your body and in your nervous system. So these are big questions that I've asked you guys in half an hour. So don't think that if you don't have the answers yet, that they're not coming, because sometimes for you guys, maybe you have an aha moment tomorrow. Maybe you're driving to work next week and you go, holy doodle. I totally see where this is coming from. I see where this resistance is coming from. I see why parts of me don't want to achieve it. But I want you to know that if you're ever feeling resistance, procrastination, frustration, anxiety, fear around the things that you want to achieve, and you're feeling like, I know that I have this thing, but I feel like I can't achieve this thing, look for something deeper and have the discipline and join the groups and know the how, but also support yourself on the other side, because when those both marry together, that's when you get to those places that you've always been dreaming of. So it's been so beautiful to be back here again. Does anyone have any ahas, questions, or takeaways that they want to share? I always love asking this before or when I wrap up calls or trainings. Like maybe there's something you're like, oh, that really clicked for me. Or because sometimes by you guys sharing your takeaways, your ahas, it's like, oh, cool, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Or that's thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, Carmen, do you want to share? Can you unmute yourself?
Yep. Danielle, first, from the last time you were here, I shared with my Utah granddaughter who is skating, ice skating competitively, what you shared that time when you said, I told her you were an Olympian,
yeah,
and from Australia. And I said, you said you have to envision the goal. You have to envision winning. And then I think you took us through a process of making vision boards. So I think you did that. I'm not positive. But I said, I remember you saying you have to picture that.
Yeah.
What happened with me tonight, and I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. When you asked us, and I take notes, so I wrote this all down. When you asked us to write down what is blocking us, I wrote my immobility. I spelled it wrong. I typed it wrong in there,
Yeah.
but it's my lack of mobility. And as you were talking, I discovered I kind of like it because people are taking care of me instead of me taking care of everybody.
Ooh.
And then I said, oh my gosh, is that really me? That's never been me all my life, but I kind of like it because it's kind of attention,
Yeah.
and it's kind of them taking care of me instead of me taking care of everyone. So I never thought of it like that. I just thought, hey, I'm going to walk someday. I'm going to be able to move more freely someday, but maybe I'm holding myself back. And I never thought of that before.
That is so powerful, Carmen. Thank you so much for sharing. And even
Yes.
that, like, you get to know that you get to be taken care of, even if you're more mobile. Because I think that's probably going to be a big thing for you too. Like, you don't have to be immobile to be taken care of, right? You get to, like, the new version of you, the like rebirth version of you gets to be more mobile, and you get to still be taken care of, and both get to be true. Thank you so much for sharing. That's really powerful. And it's also hard having those realizations because we've kind of got to call our own bullshit, right? Like, we're like, oh God, like, I've been doing that. Like, but a lot of people don't want to do that. So to share that is huge. Thank you so much for your vulnerability. I found this to be a great technique, and I look forward to continue to practice this until I can answer these questions, or even to drill down to enter my feelings. Amazing. Thank you so much, Deb. Any other takeaways or shares? No problem, Karen. Devin. Yeah.
Good to see you, Danielle.
Nice
I enjoyed this session a lot, and plus, I just accept your, accept your little Facebook, your thing for your workshop for free.
Oh, okay. Which workshop was that?
I think it was your self-worth mindset.
Oh,
Olympian.
yes, I do have a Facebook group where I have lots of my old workshops in there that you can watch. So I can add you to that if you're wanting to see. I'll share my this one here. Yeah, the Danielle Reedy. If you guys are wanting to follow me on Instagram, yeah, awesome, Devin. I'll add you to that. So thank you so much for letting me know.
Once again, another amazing session with Danielle. I'm talking about you like you weren't even here. You never cease to amaze me, just with the way you put things in ways for people to understand simply, and to do a lot of self-reflection. And part of this journey is about self-reflection and figuring out who we are as people. And again, there's going to be roadblocks no matter which way you look at it. But if you could prevent yourself from being your roadblock, the road that will open up is incredible. I can only see success. And don't worry, success is measured in many, many different ways. So know that we are the crabs behind you. We're not pulling you in, we're pushing you out.
I want to be out of the bucket.
We're pushing you
out.
Yeah.
I want to pull them out.
We're pulling you all out of that
bucket.
bucket. I love that analogy. I love that analogy. I thought that was a great way of looking at it, because you know what I see? I often see myself as I'm myself pulling myself back. It's nobody else pulling me back. It's all the different versions of me in that bucket telling me I can't, I can't, I can't. But there's one part of me that's saying I can and I will.
Just dance the can-can.
Just dance the can.
Just dance the can-can. You know, today is dance for 3 minutes. Just dance the can-can and keep saying, I can, I can, I can, I can. Just keep saying it until it becomes a reality for you.
Until it becomes easy for you to say. I think that's a lot of times we need to believe in ourselves. And the believing in ourselves is one of the hardest things out there. Other people believe in us, but why can't we believe in ourselves sometimes? Not sometimes. We should do it all the time.
So thank you so much, Danielle, for joining us. We will be sharing the live feed links for those who haven't watched it yet. So we will have that on the Kickstart group. And thanks again for joining us tonight. Just a few announcements before we end the session. Number one, we have an event in 2 weeks. The Uxbridge Trail Hub. It's the Kelly Shires Breast Cancer Foundation Pink Ribbon Walk, followed by a picnic lunch for my birthday. So if you're in the Toronto area, you want to come celebrate my birthday with me, let me know. I have the link. I'll post it in chat. We also have on June 7th.
Yes, on June 7th, we are at the Shoppers Drug Mart Run for Women 5K walk. We'll be meeting downtown on the 7th. It starts at 8 a.m. And after that, we'll all be going out to lunch together. We found a cute little patio last year. So we'll probably maybe go to the same place again because it was really cute.
It was. And then on July 12th, we will be in Windsor for the Pedal and Pour. We will be driving around Windsor on a mobile bar. We have 4 spots still remaining.
Yep.
So if you're interested in that, please let us know as soon as possible so we can book the tickets. And we are proud to announce that the Toronto cruise sold out.
We have 20 people booked. If other people are interested, we can still add on, but we will need to know as soon as possible to make sure that we can add you to the group.
Exactly. So that's the information there. And also not available yet on July 26th, we will be in Kitchener-Waterloo or St. Jacobs Market. For those of you who are looking for that information, it'll be coming in your emails soon. It'll be on the dashboard as well, so you can register for that event. That will be a visit to St. Jacobs and lunch in the area, and then we will be returning home after that. And then we'll plan other events. We might also have that day come to Jen to see her kitty.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go
on the way back.
We're gonna go to the Cat Cafe.
Yeah, we're probably gonna go to the Cat Cafe.
Oh my God.
And she's here today, so I was like, Jen, this
We'll
is
be there.
FYI. we'll be there. So that's everything, guys. So there are a lot of stuff happening. We're trying to do all these events this summer and get you guys involved with us and joining us on these fun things.
And if you're not in the area we're in and you guys want to host an event, invite people from the community, feel free to post it in the
A lot of
group.
Winnipeggers.
That's what the group is for. Organize an event, organize a meetup. We would love to see all of you guys coming together in your own local communities and spreading this whole Kickstart happiness.
Exactly. So on that note, we'll end the live feed. We'll stay in chat quickly for any questions, and then we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for STEP, because we will be on tomorrow morning. And on Thursday, we have In the Kitchen. We are going to be making oven-baked quinoa. If you do not like quinoa,
You can
and
make
tried
it with rice.
before. No. Changing
Okay.
that. If you've never had quinoa before,
You haven't made it my way.
you haven't made it his way. Because if you make it his way,
I like Donna's like, it's so good.
if you make it the way that most people make it, which is on the stove, it ends up mushy and porridgey. Jean-Luc's way is baking it.
It's fluffy.
It's fluffy like rice. So if you're a person who's tried quinoa and says this is disgusting, believe me, we've converted many people to quinoa using this version
There
of
was
cooking.
only one brand that we could never make work, and it's from Costco.
So this Thursday will be that, and we'll also be making quinoa bowls, which is one of our favorite things to do, is throwing quinoa and a bunch of vegetables and protein together and having a delicious bowl.
Yep.
So we're doing that this Thursday. This Sunday, we are talking about setting boundaries. So the whole talk tonight about, people, you're the people that those people that always like to please others, always saying yes. We're going to talk about that this weekend, about how to say no respectfully, how to, stand your ground, how to, respect yourself to make sure that as much as you want to help others, you still need to help yourself first. We've always said this. And so that's what's going to be this Sunday. And then next Tuesday, Jen's here.
Yes.
We're doing Zumba.
Zumba.
We're doing Zumba next week.
Zumba.
So next week on Tuesday, class is canceled for STEP because we're going to be coming on at 7 to do Zumba together. So join us next. Put your activity clothes
Put your
on.
Zumba clothes on.
Your best 80s attire, maybe, if you want. We'll have our bandanas on, as we always do.
Or some Spanish flair.
Yeah, Olé. So on that note, we'll end the live feed, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning. Thank you, everybody. Oh, I have to figure out how to turn this thing off.